Good morning, Vietnam.
Good morning, Vietnam. I haven't seen that movie, but
Robin
I mean,
Williams.
I've heard that quote has been used in enough popular media that I know what that movie about, and I know about that movie.
Robin Williams is a wonderful comedian from the 1980s and 90s.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with Robin Williams. I love Robin Williams. Like his
Yeah.
movies as a kid were great. Like I used to like every time they would put on like Mrs. Doubtfire, I would probably watch it as a kid.
Yeah, I saw Mrs. Doubtfire playing recently in a doctor's office on the screen, and
Crazy.
when they called my name, I didn't want to go in. I was like, I gotta finish Mrs.
Hold
Doubtfire,
on a
Doc.
second. Yeah.
Yeah, give me a minute, Doc. This is a good scene.
Yeah. Come join me.
Yeah, pull up a chair.
Marlene, cancel my appointments.
Yeah, I love those like secretary names.
Yeah. Darlene,
Trisha,
Marlene,
Marlene,
Trisha. Yeah.
Vicky.
Vicky. Yeah, there's, do certain names predispose you to become a secretary? I don't know. I
That's
don't know
so
if
true.
anyone's done research on that.
That's so true. It's kind of like if you have a certain kind of personality, you're predisposed to certain jobs, like a gym teacher although as we discussed, or a cop, which might be the same personality. Although as we discussed when we talked about gym teachers, it might more so be the reverse, where once they become a gym teacher and they put on those stupid short shorts and the reflective short shorts and the whistle, at that point they're retrofitted to have the disposition of a gym teacher, because they all have the same disposition. So it could be that it's either, I don't know what came first, the chicken or the egg. What
Right,
came
right.
first, the whistle or the personality?
Yeah. It's kind of like the Stanford prison experiment, except like, it's like something happens. Like when you put on those shorts, something snaps. Your personality just like molds into the
Yeah.
shorts. So it's like The Shining, except
Yeah.
with gym shorts.
Yeah, and it happens like immediately. It's
Yeah,
like the first time you put it on,
yeah, yeah,
you're just like, why do I feel like yelling at a kid right now?
yeah, yeah. Or it's like when you wear like certain reflective sunglasses, you just want to grab some chewing tobacco, take a fishing rod, and go fishing for marlin off like the
It's
coast.
so true. That's so true. The way you dress, the things you wear, the things you put on, sunglasses, necklace, whatever. At least for me, it makes you feel like getting into character
Right?
of
Yes.
whatever that is.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Paul I almost called him. I almost called him John Newman. Paul Newman, not his lesser known stepbrother John Newman,
John Dude.
who was a plumber. Um, the best looking plumber they'd ever seen.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really. Old blue eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah, Paul,
Cool hand Luke over there.
cool,
Cool, cool plunger Luke over
cool
there.
plunger John. Oh, this has gone downhill fast. We're off to a rip-roaring start. That's what Cabo will do to you.
Yeah,
Which
yes,
we're
yes.
going to talk about, your trip to Cabo that you
Oh
just came
yeah,
back from.
yeah.
I want to hear
No,
all about it.
I have that as part of my updates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, real quick, so Paul Newman, not John Newman, not to be
Right.
confused. Paul Newman used to say that he just really had to get into costume in order to truly be in character,
Right. Right.
which
Yeah.
must have made auditions particularly tough for him.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
no costumes in that realm, but once he was on set and in that king's robe or whatever may have been the case at the time,
Yeah.
and they're not going to cast Paul Newman as like a freaking
yeah.
electrician. I mean, they're going to cast him as a king or
Yeah.
a prince.
For sure.
So he's going to be wearing a rather ornate outfit, probably in many cases, which is going to get him right into character
Yeah.
by his own description.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Karan, please, Karan, Karan. Karan. I when I used to say your name like that
Yeah,
when we lived together on Haskell Street in Boston or in
yeah,
Alston. You used to say that it would really startle you when I
yeah,
would
yeah,
yell that outside your bedroom room to get
yeah,
your attention because you thought it was your dad,
yeah, yeah.
and that he was like yelling at you to get out of bed or like mad at you or something. Is that true?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like it's the equivalent of like when your mom calls you by your full name, like, by your first name, middle name, last name, like,
Oh
she
yeah,
means business, right? Yeah,
yeah.
it was something about the tone and the way he said it that, like, yeah,
Karan.
we've all been there as kids where like your mom or dad wakes you up for school and you're like, yeah, 10 more minutes, and then you just like
Oh
pass out
God.
again. And then, yeah,
Fucking my parents getting me up for church every Saturday morning.
all right.
That
So,
means you're Jewish. I'm not. It's a Seventh Day Adventist. We've been over
yeah.
this. Go to church on Saturdays. When my dad would try to get me up for church, it was always a task for him, and that was a task for me too. I didn't want to go to church, and I mean, look, it's like it was awful. It was
Yeah, I
it
mean,
was horrible.
as a kid, like, you can probably think of many things you'd rather do than go to church. No offense to
Oh,
religion, it's just kids would rather do many other things than go sit in church and hear somebody talk,
oh
right?
my God!
Yeah.
I know. It was like, listen, this is like one of my few days off from shitty school, and now you're getting me up at the crack of dawn. I mean, we would get up at 7:30 or 8. I think it was like 8 a.m. And on a Saturday, that's way too early. If it's on a day off, I mean, I don't know. Do you still, on a day off that you have, like, do you still sleep in or do you not get to do that with Zoe?
Yeah, I don't have that luxury right now because of Zoe.
Yeah.
She's pretty much because I mean, I do sleep in a little extra because usually because of my work, I have to wake up at 5:30 every day on work days. But when on weekends, I can sleep until like 6:37 because that's usually when Zoe gets up, and if I'm lucky, 7:30. But
Mm,
yeah, it's crazy. I've gotten so how crazy how quickly you get used to things. I'm
yeah.
kind of used to it now, but yeah,
Yeah. I
I'm
mean, I
sure
get
as she
it.
gets older, it'll change because I know from myself being a kid, like when I was like I think after 7 or 8, I would like to sleep in till later.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, like I'm sure it'll change.
Yeah, when you and I and Megs lived in LA together and roomed together, we would usually sleep in. But that was, we had a lot less responsibilities and
Oh
bills
yeah,
and stuff. And I mean, also to be fair, speaking for myself, I just hadn't developed the pattern of getting up early yet in
hmm,
life, at least not like really rigidly or regularly.
right,
And I
right,
mean, what really changed that for me was one day realizing, or not real. I heard someone's, this clinical psychiatrist or psychologist saying that it's better for your mental health if you get up at the same time every day.
oh okay,
And it's like I have enough, like resting. I have enough, I don't know, anxiety to deal with without adding things onto it. And
yeah,
so, um,
so yeah,
plus my brain's a little chaotic because I have it. I mean, look, I have ADHD. It's a little more chaotic up there. So, for me to have any kind of structure, it can be really good for me. And that was a huge positive change actually for my life and I think my mental health, which was starting to get up at the same time every day.
okay,
And I've been doing that, but I've been doing that for a few years now, but I still take off. So I get up at about 7 every day,
okay,
sometimes slightly earlier, but sometimes 7:15. But yeah, um, but I do sleep in on a Sunday. We do sleep in. So,
nice,
and I
yeah,
guess that's a
like
luxury. I guess that's a luxury of not having a kid or not having kids.
yeah.
But yeah, but I know what you mean. Like it's not like that example specifically is not a major sacrifice to
No.
not get to sleep in because once you get used to getting up at a certain time, it's not that hard to just do it every day.
Yeah, and you do. It does. Like I said, it will change. I mean, what we have now is, any parents listening to this will agree, is better than when she was just born, where I would have to like wake up in the middle of the night to give her some, her bottle to drink, because that's how it works for kids. Like they can't, when they're babies, they can't have a lot, so they feed in like 4 hour intervals or something. So like that, at the time I did it. I didn't think much about it. I did it, but now I don't have to do that anymore. Now she sleeps through the night. So yeah,
Wow,
it's
thank
just gonna
goodness,
keep
right?
getting better and better. Like but that's, yeah, it's part of having a kid. And
Yep.
another thing I think a lot of parents will agree is that for some reason you don't feel it. Like you kind of get like weird energy from your kids. Like like just seeing them, interacting with them, it kind of like gives you energy in a way that is almost borders on mysterious to me. Like I
Interesting.
feel like I sometimes when I put this on paper, my schedule, I'm like I should be way more tired and way more exhausted, but for some reason I'm not. Like I'm just like it's like they you get something in return from them. I don't
At
know
the
how to.
end of a work, when you say energy, you just mean just not feeling tired
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
physically
yeah.
and mentally. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't feel like that exhausted. You don't feel like if I write it down on paper, you read it and you're like, oh my god, man, you must be exhausted every day. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not. Like I'm oddly not. Like I feel like I agree with you. I
Hmm.
should be more exhausted, but I'm not. Like I feel pretty happy most of the time.
That's really nice to hear, and that's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
cool.
Grateful for
Is
that.
it like um, why do you think it is?
It's a great question. I mean, I think it's like, I don't know, something about like, having like just like taking care of a child. It's just, I
Is it
think it's comes from there.
does it are you energized because taking care of a child gives a sense of positive purpose that gives
Yeah.
you, because I've noticed that the happier I am, the more energetic I am.
Yeah, yeah, yes, that's a good point. I think it could be something along those lines, because when you something flips in you when you have a child, where in your brain, at least, I can't say this for everybody, but I would say most parents, like in your brain, like something switches where you are no longer the priority in your own brain. Like your child is the priority. Like their well-being is the priority. Their sleep, their food, how their
Which
disposition
is
is
probably
your
good for your
priority.
mental health, especially
Yeah,
if prior to that you may have been too in your own head or sort of dwelling on things. There's
yeah.
nothing better to shake you out of that than worrying about someone else's needs rather than your own, right?
Yeah, yeah. And that's why I think like when it's a big thing when kids go off to college, because they kind of like leave a bit of
Oh,
a void
yeah,
in your life, because
avoid.
now you've done everything. You've got them ready for the world. They're out there in this kind of like semi real world setting, which is college, getting used to the real world, so to speak. And yeah, a lot of parents at that time, they kind of like get a little lost, but a lot of them also rediscover themselves. Like I'm sure you've noticed, like parents after their kids go to college, they start taking up hobbies, they start doing all kinds of things, because for like 18 years, like you were doing everything for your kid, and now suddenly you have time for yourself again
Yeah.
you know
Oh, yeah. I mean, my mom took up a hobby, which is Fox News. No, I'm kidding. It's she it does a lot of gardening too. Um, no community service that I'm aware.
It's a bit late. I had to do that. I had to use it. It
It's
was
kind
like
it was almost funnier that it was late. It was funny.
that was some late night talk show kind of like timing right
Zing.
there. Fox News.
Take that, woman who loved me and raised me. It's a joke. I don't know if she'll hear this or not, but it's a joke, Mom.
She,
I mean,
she'll probably take it in stride, and she'll be like, "Oh, Matthew."
I think so. She takes a lot of things in stride. I think she would take it in stride if I were a murderer, um, or a
Yeah.
heroin addict. She's very, very like unconditionally loving
Yeah.
towards me and towards, I would say, most people. But yeah, but there is a lot of Fox News over there, and it gets thick.
Yeah.
But
Fox News. Oh my
but
god.
yeah, but that's more due to her retirement than
Right.
her
Yeah.
because she's retired now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, to what you were saying, I would imagine it can really leave a void because they have this sense of purpose, and and it's important. Like you're taking care of another life,
Yeah.
you're shaping and molding another life. It's a high calling, and it's a worthy calling. And look, let's face it, some people really take it head on and take it seriously and do a damn good job, and other people not so much.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah, it goes back to what I would say before, which is that it's good to have a kid if you want a kid. Like I know some people like they don't always choose. They get sometimes they get women get pregnant when they don't plan to. Sometimes being parent is thrust upon you. In those cases, like yeah, it can suck because maybe you feel like this is not what you chose. But yeah, for us, like we chose to have a kid, and we were lucky enough to have a kid when we chose to have it. So
yeah.
for us, like we doesn't phase us. Like yeah, there are times when you're like, oh my god, I kind of miss my old life where I didn't have to worry about all this shit.
I'm sure
But
there's those moments.
yeah,
Do you think that before you had a kid that you knew how much work it would be?
no way, no way. You're like yeah, we would see kids sometimes and like we'd be like, oh yeah, that looks fun, yeah, but like
Look at them playing in
look at
that
them
stream.
play. I
I'll bet it's
it'll be
like that all the
fun.
time.
Yeah, yeah, it's not. It's like, yeah, it's like having a monkey that's like, that's
I'll
like.
tell Zoe you said that when she's 18. No,
Well, the
I'm
best
kidding.
part is she can hear this. It's here.
That's true.
Hear for
Yeah,
herself.
she's totally going to listen to all these.
Yeah, yeah.
I guarantee it.
Yeah, I love this for that reason. It's like no matter
Yeah.
what happens, at one she will have a record of me talking about her in all
Yeah.
of these forms. So,
Yeah, and by then I'll be dead, and she'll be like, who was that guy? And you'll be
Yeah.
like, well, sit down. Let me tell you about this guy, Matt.
I mean, I don't know what you have in mind,
just
Matt, but
kidding.
that's only 18 years away. I think you're going to live a lot longer than that. I hope at least.
I hope so.
I hope so. Yeah, I don't know what you have in mind.
Fingers crossed.
It's like you're gonna take up like great white shark diving or something in like 10 years.
I've got my eye on that ice cream truck that comes through my neighborhood. He speeds up every year, and I don't know when he's going to hit me. I dodge, dip, and dive past him. Those ice cream trucks are really freaking funny because it's just like the most incredibly depressing. Everything about them, it's just the truck is covered in all these happy colors
Right.
and pictures of ice cream, all these things that evoke joy.
Yeah.
But then the music that they play
It's like,
is so depressing and weird. And it'll be this like down-tuned, out of tune, old recording. I don't know where they get those recordings. Is there an online database of ice cream truck recordings for them to download from? I doubt it. I don't know what they're doing. But they're blasting these weird, out-of-tune songs out of these speakers from a truck. And it's never, I swear to God, the other day, I heard this ice cream truck coming through, and it wasn't even the typical, like, kind of happy tune. And it's never happy, even when it is a happy tune, because it's all down-tuned and grainy. But this ice cream truck was like, colorful, happy-looking ice cream truck coming through to give kids joy. And it was blasting this, like, weird, this bizarre, like, out-of-tune, like, Johann Sebastian Bach melody that was really sad and minor key sounding. And it was just kind of this, and it was just like, what the
like, is
what
that
are you
supposed to get
trying to
kids
do to these
excited
kids?
about like ice cream? Like,
Yeah, is this supposed to
know?
get these children excited? And what is your game here? I'd be like, stay away from that particular ice cream truck with the Bach music. I don't know. I mean, I love Bach, but not
Yeah.
in that context. It's like I'm trying to just get some ice cream here, and yeah, it's weird. That was a tangent, but yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think I would say like an ice cream truck had way higher quality and standards probably back in the day. Like it was uh, at least in popular culture, was always depicted as like a savior. On on like hot days when the ice cream truck would roll around,
Totally,
kids would lose
yeah.
their mind.
Nice,
It
cool
didn't
ice cream.
sound
Yeah.
depressing. It sounded joyful. It sounded like something out of a Disney movie.
Yeah.
But now it's like it's almost like it's being directed by Quentin Tarantino. It's like kind of like the ice cream
Yeah,
truck doesn't sound as
totally.
happy.
Yeah, it's like Werner Herzog is directing it, or, and you're like, okay, kiss your dreams goodbye, children. Welcome to the real world. It's like, what? I just wanted a chocolate bar, and now I'm thinking about existence. I'm thinking about human and society and stuff. I'm like, get out of here. Get
What
out
would
of my
you rather?
neighborhood.
Would you rather go to an ice cream truck driven by Robin Williams or Werner Herzog? I would
I can take a guess which one has the Bach music coming out of it. And it ain't Robin.
yeah. I
Yeah.
guess Werner just wants to get kids started early on like the philosophy of life, and it's how the limits of joy.
Yeah. The limitations of joy.
Everything out here is designed to kill you.
In the jungle. In the jungle.
I love that. I love that clip of him just standing in the middle of the jungle with his mustache, just lamenting about how everything there is designed to kill him.
It is not a place of joy. It is a place of suffering and misery. Where they are compete to surviving, and you will surely die, but I love it against my better judgment. It's like, Werner, you're in an ice cream truck, man. You're driving a bunch of chocolate bars around. What are you saying to these kids?
You know, the thing about Werner Herzog, what's trippy about him is, yeah, he is kind of like that. Like he's looks very serious, very like kind of like almost like a killjoy. But then he does these things that kind of like trip you out. Like for example, he voiced like a character in Rick and Morty, the show. I forget which season it is. It's I think it's like season 2, and his voiceover is genuinely funny. Like it's really really funny in that show. He delivers it exactly in his voice. Like you can the minute you hear it, you're like, is that Werner Herzog? And I had to look up. I was like, it sounds like maybe somebody did an impression, but no, it's actually him, and it's really funny. So I'm just like, clearly he loves comedy. Like he agreed to do this show,
Totally.
knowing all about it, and he did it, and he did it really well. So
Well, he really has. I mean, he has a great sense of humor. I mean, he has a great sense of like dark humor.
yeah,
Which I mean, he literally in his movie Strozek, there's a scene towards the end or at the very end when this after Strozek kills himself. Spoiler, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. There's this long still shot of a rooster like dancing. And it goes on for like 5 minutes with this weird, kind of like weird, like circus music behind it. And this is an otherwise very sort of realistic, gritty, serious film. But Werner Herzog has the whole last shot is just this dancing chicken. And he's got this whole philosophy about, what he was intending. He's very intentional with the things that he does.
Right, yeah.
And he'll explain it. Like not every director will, Stanley Kubrick never wanted to explain himself. He hated when people asked him to do it. But Werner is happy to sit down and he'll walk you through the exact reasons in his mind, why he filmed a dancing bear for 10 minutes or whatever it is, dancing chicken in this case. And he does this funny thing in his documentaries that I actually love because it's so awkward, but it forces the subjects into a place of awkwardness that I think Werner is hoping will sort of shake something out of them or bring something to the surface that they don't want to reveal or weren't planning to reveal. And so he creates this space for that to happen. And it's funny because nothing ever happens. They never say anything. Like nothing ever bubbles out verbally. But he'll just keep filming. He'll just keep filming their face for 18 seconds after after they've already answered the final question, and he'll just sit there with like a handheld camera, like continuing to film them from like 10 inches away. You'll just see their eyes like awkwardly darting back and forth with like this like half smile, like they're trying to look normal. It's so awkward. I love it. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
It's delicious. Oh.
Well, I mean, clearly, like he is a very successful movie director. Like a lot of people know about him.
Strangely, he is. I don't know how he somehow found any form of commercial success, but I'm so happy he did.
Yeah.
Because I really like his stuff. I mean, it's bizarre, and it's like kind of intentionally awkward.
Yeah.
And I love those things about it, but I wouldn't expect most people to love those things about it. Then again, maybe when he really got going, in the 70s or whatever, when he launched with movies like Aguirre, The Wrath of God, with Klaus Kinski, maybe at the time, the awkwardness and the strangeness, maybe the strangeness of it was just so unique that it caught on, and maybe... I mean, the film scene and the entertainment industry scene was so completely different, and the means of access to entertainment were so different and much more controlled back then. Controlled oftentimes in a good way, actually, because it would force kind of typical, or it would force more folks to be exposed to bizarre things that in today's world, those same type of folks would have the freedom and the luxury to simply immediately look past and skip, because they'd be on their streaming service and they see some picture go by, a movie called Aguirre, The Wrath of God. Yeah. And it's got like Klaus Kinski's, crazy face on it. In a helmet, and they're just in a conquistador helmet, and they're just like, skip, skip, thank you very much, not interested, where's Kim Kardashian, but in those days, there was no Kim Kardashian, there was no reality TV, and there was no streaming, there were no streaming services, so guess what, if someone in your city produced some amazing new independent film, you might really hear about it. It might be in some theaters. It might be in the press, in the newspapers. Anyway.
And like, suppose you're sitting on Saturday night, you want to watch TV. You have like 4 channels to deal with, and one of those channels has the news. 2 of those are, just grainy footage of something, and then the 4th one is Aguirre, The Wrath of God. So you're like, okay, let me watch this for a few minutes, and then you find yourself like being like, okay, hey. Yeah. I'm kind of liking this. Let me keep watching.
Totally.
By the way, if you guys are listening to this and you don't know who Werner Herzog is, you don't know who Klaus Kinski is, there's a documentary called My Best Fiend.
Then get the fuck out. I'm just kidding.
Well, Matt is a lot less merciful than me. But yeah, you can watch My Best Fiend. It's a great documentary. I didn't know either of these 2 guys when Matt showed me that documentary, but boy, was I entertained. It is really...
Oh, yeah. Really, My Best Fiend?
Yeah,
you're talking about My Best Fiend?
Yes.
I'm at a loss. I'm stumbling over my words because certain things just get me excited, and My Best Fiend is one of them. And man, what a one of a kind. I'll tell you this, probably my 2 favorite documentaries of all time. As I think about it now, I think maybe my 2 favorite documentaries of all time might be My Best Fiend and Saint Anger. What's that one? Some kind of monster.
Some kind of monster
about Metallica.
Oh my God!
Those 2 documentaries could never be made again under any circumstances. They're a one-off. It was a time and a place. Yeah. And the way they were made and the subject matter they were made about and just the passion with which they were made.
Yeah.
It's just, there's such one-of-a-kind pieces.
Yeah, and the windows they provide into the creative process or the work that went behind these works, the dynamic of the individuals involved.
Dude,
that's the thing. That's the thing that they
amazing.
both have in common. It shows you the dynamic that Metallica had as a band and the dynamic that Klaus Kinski and Werner Herzog shared. when they went about their stuff. That dynamic is just, I don't
Yes.
know. It's
Listen, yeah, listen
blows your
to
top off.
anybody out and it never goes back on either.
No,
To
no,
anybody out there listening, if you have even a fraction of a soul, not everyone does, but if you are one of the ones who was cursed with a soul, it's not a good thing to have in this capitalistic world. It really holds you back. But if you are one of the ones who was unfortunate enough, it's great for everyone else around you, by the way. They love it, but it'll definitely destroy your life. But if you have a fraction of a soul, you need to see those documentaries. I mean, if you're just out there watching the Kardashians or I don't know, what's a less cliche example of a soulless show? Because, I mean, some people could watch the Kardashians just because it's white noise. It doesn't mean they're soulless. But if you have a soul of any kind, see Some Kind of Monster. It's so hilarious. It is a hilarious, nuanced, idiosyncratic, awkward, real, gritty, again to you, hilarious to say again, documentary. It is a one of a kind.
Yeah.
And so is My Best Fiend.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a Werner Herzog fan to begin, My Best Fiend is especially good for you. But both are so good. I mean that corporate therapist, that psychiatrist or psychologist that they bring in Some Kind of Monster to counsel the band Metallica because their personalities are clashing, and they bring in this dork who's like a therapist, and he's like a therapist for high paying, high like the elite basically.
Yeah.
And like labels, like music labels will like bring him in to like talk to, like a lead singer who's fighting with a drummer or whatever it is, and kind of work them through it. By the way, I don't remember actually seeing anything that man did in that entire documentary pay off. Like, I don't remember anything he told them that helped them. But maybe I'm not remembering something properly. But I remember James Hetfield in that doc. He was going through kind of a rough, kind of an interesting patch in life because he was kind of I think a known alcoholic leading up to that.
Yes, he was.
He would really pound beers. Sometimes even on stage, he would like pound a beer right in front of the mic and be like, "This one goes out to Houston," and then sing his next tune, and throw the beer can out.
Jump into Master of Puppets.
Yeah, probably hit somebody in the mohawk. So he was a known alcoholic, and it was a struggle for him, but he wanted to clean up his life. So this documentary, they're like in the midst of making this new album, Saint Anger.
Yep.
Is it a good album, by the way, Karan? You're a big Metallica fan.
Wasn't well received. It was
Okay.
I think they experimented with their sound, but a lot of like it. I would say in terms of success, it probably wasn't one of their best ones. It still made them money and stuff, but because
they had such a
extremely loyal
massive following
massive
already.
following.
Yeah.
And it didn't destroy them either. I think it's one
Yeah.
of those albums that was like just forgotten. But they also experimented a lot with different sounds, different song structure. So, which, by the way, like if you're an artist and you're successful, go ahead, do your thing. Like, try what you want to do. But in terms of like how it was received, no, it wasn't.
Yeah,
definitely one of
but I
them.
mean, in terms of longevity, it definitely has been proven to be important for established artists to continue to switch up their style.
Yep.
So, but anyway, so this documentary, Some Kind of Monster, it really goes in intimately into the recording and writing process of this album that Metallica was doing at the time, Saint Anger,
Yes.
Saint Anger, and it. But the band was really struggling at the time because it was just this big dynamic shift. I mean, they were bringing in a new bassist, Trujillo, Trujillo, and auditioning him, and he seems like quite a cool guy, quite a mensch.
They went through many bases, and I think they picked him. He had come from like I think he played with like suicidal tendencies. Like he was a bassist who had done a lot with a lot of popular bands, and then he I think they liked him because he just came and he was just like able to play whatever songs they had like very quickly, pick it up really fast. So he was a very talented bassist. But yeah, their long running
He
bassist,
also
Jason
looks
Newsted,
cool.
had just left. Yeah, yeah, he's I
Just a
think he's Native
big,
American or something,
either that or
but
Mexican. I think maybe Mexican, although a lot of
maybe
Mexicans are part Native American,
correct,
so it could
right?
be,
Yes,
both.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, cool. Just a seems to have a lovely personality. He
yeah.
helped produce that documentary about that famous bassist Jaco Pastorius, I think was his name.
Actually, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, that's another actually very interesting documentary. More depressing, but still very
Oh,
very nuanced and interesting. And he was kind of this freewielding. He made the bass like a main instrument,
oh,
basically.
okay,
Like
okay.
he the way we think of Flea in the Red Hot Chili Peppers as being, kind of a bringing to the mainstream this like very frenetic style of
Hmm.
bouncing all over the strings and playing way more bass notes than are
Yeah, and
necessary,
doing
but
more
still
than the
yeah,
bare minimum of
doing
like,
more than the minimum.
yeah.
Yeah, Jaco Pastorius inspired guys like Flea,
Okay.
because he was just for any bass player. Apparently, in that generation, he was incredibly inspiring to a lot of aspiring bass players.
Okay. Speaking of bass players, somebody who I always knew about this band, but I never listened to them much. But I have been more in the last month. Is
Oh, nice.
Primus,
Ooh,
Les Claypool?
what a
Man,
character, dude.
what a character and
What
what
a
a
character.
bassist! Like I was blown away when I saw him play. I was like, wow, I've never
Yeah.
seen anybody do this on the bass before. I was like, yeah. Just
W-
a
w-
quick aside. I just since we're talking about basses,
Were
I
you
did want
very
to talk about
familiar
him.
with Les Claypool's bass playing like before recently, or did you just start
Um,
getting into it, or how did that work for you?
well, I had when I was in college, I was very into like I had just come to America. I For me, rock music was how I met people because I loved rock music, and I would always like one of my first questions when I met anybody in college was like, "Hey, what kind of music are you into?" And so once I met this guy who had a very cool bass, and I was like, "Hey, what kind of music do you like?" He's like, I'm a big Primus fan, and that was my first intro into
Spoken like a true
Primus.
bassist,
Spoken like a
by the
true
way.
bassist. Yeah. I mean, if you're a bassist of any kind in rock, then you should know Primus.
Yeah, yeah.
But I never actually listened to their music until a few years later when I heard the song "Those Damn Blue Collar Tweakers," which was the first moment I was like, "Wow, that bass is bumping." It's like that's this amazing sound he's getting out of that bass guitar. And then I told you about it, and you were like, "Have you heard My Name Is Mud?" And I was like, "Hey, that's a cool song." And I listened to it. I was like, "Oh, this is nice," but I never got into it until like a few months ago. I just by chance, My Name Is Mud live performance came on, and I saw how he played it, and I was like, "Wow, that's amazing." Because
Yeah,
the intro is so
that's
cool the way
cool.
he slaps the bass, and yeah, I was like,
Yeah, I
"Wow."
don't know what he does for his bass sound. I haven't researched it, but
No, yeah.
do you know if he like runs it through a guitar amp or is it through a bass amp?
No,
Like, I don't
yeah,
know.
that's where my knowledge ends. But I do know that he has a quite a long episode with Rick Beato, which if you want, you guys can,
Oh,
if you're
cool.
interested in that, if you guys are interested in that question, watch that. I'm sure they cover it for sure in that. It's like an hour long episode. I started listening to it, but I never finished it. Yeah. Um,
Yes, Rick Beato is an esteemed championer of all layered or interesting or musically interesting music,
Yeah,
and
yeah. So
I
you
love that
best
about
believe
him.
he probably asked him that question. So
Yeah,
that sounds like a Rick Beato question.
yeah,
I'm sure he answered that question
yeah.
in
That
that.
does actually sound like a Rick Beato question.
Yeah. And a
But
quick aside to
yeah.
anybody who wants to know, uh, Primus's bassist Les Claypool, they played the intro and the outro to South Park. The South Park theme is played by Primus. So yeah, the intro is a sped up version of what they played,
Oh
and the
yeah.
outro is the actual version of what they played.
Oh no way.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a great fact, Karan.
yeah.
No, it is because I didn't know that, and so now I want to go and immediately I want to pull up the outro.
Yeah, and
to
there's a live performance of them playing the intro with Trey Parker and Matt Stone actually singing the South Park uh, part. Yeah, the characters from South Parks and Liz
That's
Claypool playing the
wild.
bass. Yeah, it's a fun story. He said like they approached him to play it, and he played something that was like really slow, and they sped it up for the intro, but the outro is a way slower version. So yeah, that's the real version of what was played. But yeah, go check it out, guys. It's
That's really
if you like
interesting.
South Park, it's a fun thing to look at. Yeah.
That's so cool. I will check that out. But yeah. So with regards to that documentary about Metallica, some kind of monster.
Right.
Yeah, it was in the middle of James Hetfield trying to quit drinking,
Hmm.
and kind of going through this mental health phase of his life,
Right.
of like trying to improve his mental health and deal with certain demons.
Yeah.
Occasionally goes to the go-kart track and drives a go-kart around to blow off some steam. And I think he owns the go-kart track, by the way. He's they're all rich,
Yeah.
of course. And but it's just so funny because it's like a lot of music documentaries are made of a band while they're sort of coming up or struggling,
Yeah.
or
True.
maybe in their, I don't know. It's like, but this one is made while they're kind of at the height of their fame.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like Lars, there's like a scene where Lars, almost said Lars von Trier, Lars Ulrich is too many Danes, where Lars Ulrich is trying to sell this Basquiat painting of his that's
Oh
worth
yeah.
like $15 million, or whatever, and he's at this auction with his like wife, and he's trying to sell this thing, and he's like all nervous, so he has to drink some wine to kind of calm down. I'm nervous. I don't know what price it'll fetch. It's so bizarre and hilarious to just see these guys who at one time were this super gritty kind of gnarly feral rock band,
Yeah.
and now they're sort of a little more domesticated, at least in their external beings and lives, and to see the houses they live in, the things that they do, and the little petty quarrels that they have even as grown men. James is going through his stuff, so that's why they brought in that like corporate therapist, and the therapist is always there sitting in on their sessions, and Lars like complains like, why is this guy here, and they kind of quarrel about that. And sometimes when the therapist leaves the room to go get some water, they'll like huddle together and be like, what do we think of this guy? Is this like, do we like this guy? Is he helping? And James will be like, well, you said you'd give it a chance, Lars. It's just like, it's so, and you can never tell if it's intentionally hilarious or not. I don't think it is, but I mean, there's one part where Lars's dad, who's this old Danish dude,
I love that part. I love that part.
he's got a beard down to his knees, the longest white beard you've ever seen. He looks like a wizard, literally.
Yes.
He like comes into the studio because Lars wants to show him their recent track they were working on, and
Yeah.
he like he's like, I always show stuff to my dad. It's like I trust his judgment. His judgment, it's always solid. And so he like sits his dad down, and his dad like says nothing. He's like quiet. They play the whole track for his dad, and his dad's just sitting there listening to it, like stroking his long white beard, just listening. And Lars is kind of like side-eyeing him, like, I wonder what he thinks of it. I hope he likes it. I can't tell if he likes it. And then at the end, his dad is just like quiet, and he's still stroking his beard, and Lars is like, so Dad, what do you think? What did you think of the track? And his dad is just like, I think, I would say, I think you should delete that. I would delete that, or something like that. Like, his dad just like hated it. He thought it was a piece of shit. And he's like, you should delete that. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm literally dictating the whole documentary as if people can't watch it for themselves. But it made such an impression on me. But anyway,
Yeah, I
so
remember that part
funny.
distinctly because they were using a different kind of snare sound. It was a if you listen to Saint Anger, and if you have listened to Saint Anger compared to the other songs of Metallica, the snare used in Saint Anger is very distinct. It's like kind
Hmm.
of like a I think it's like a wood snare or a steel snare. I don't know the technical term, but it sounds distinctly different. And I
Then they're
think
like different than their other albums.
than their other albums. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. And
interesting.
I think that struck probably. I think that music clip you listened to had that snare in it, and he was just like, yeah, he wasn't feeling it. But I mean, hey, I guess that's why he shows it to his dad. So because his
Yeah,
dad doesn't hold back, right?
yeah. I mean, I would be. I wish I could ask his dad. Like, was the snare the only thing holding you back, or was it? Did you just not like the whole track? But, because
Yeah.
you're gonna get the truth out of Lars's dad.
Yeah, right.
Apparently,
He's not gonna hold back. Like
not
you
holding
don't
any
get to you
punches.
don't get a beard that big by holding back.
They don't let you grow your beard that long when you're spouting nonsense.
Yeah.
They're gonna put the kibosh on that
Yeah.
much earlier.
Well, I don't like what he said, but that beard is just very persuasive.
Yeah. Or again, maybe it's a retrofitting of truth. Maybe like the gym teacher thing. Maybe when you have a beard that's
Yeah.
that long, you start telling the truth and spouting wisdom.
Yeah.
You
I
just
mean,
have to grow the beard first.
as a guy, I can definitely say that when I have a beard, for sure,
You're
my kid
wiser.
listens to me more. Yeah, my kid listens to me way more, as opposed to when I shave it off.
makes
they're
sense.
like they're more like, hey, this guy's my friend. Like it's like yeah, when
Oh
you
yeah,
it's like it adds some authority to what you're saying for
yeah,
some reason.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. A lot of times my beard just makes me look unkempt and less attractive.
Yeah,
But it depends how you grow. It depends on the guy and it depends how you grow it. If I let it get too long, it's bad. There's a sweet spot.
yeah, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. There is a sweet spot when it comes to guy beards. Not too long, not too short, just the right amount. And kudos to the guys who can maintain that sweet spot. I certainly can't.
Yeah, it
Whenever I
takes
try
work.
to do it, like I have a good trimmer and everything, but whenever I try to do it, it looks like I, cut my hip, buzz my
Yeah,
buzz my face with like a table fan or something. It's really bad.
a ceiling
Very
fan.
easy. Yeah. This should work.
Picturing you spinning around attached to a ceiling fan, trying to like pry it loose from your long beard. That could be a real issue for Lars's dad. I mean, if your beard is down to your knees and you're walking around a lot of ceiling fans, you've got to, if a breeze comes and blows that thing up, I mean,
Yeah.
you got to keep an eye out.
Yeah, you gotta be. Yeah,
You could be swinging from the rafters if you're not careful. But yeah, I can't do any hairstyle or beard style that's too much consistent maintenance.
Yep.
So for me, it's a lot of times a choice of either long or somewhat short. And when it's in those in between stages of growth, some of the phases look good, some of them don't. But it's kind of like I'm not getting a haircut every month. Like that's not happening. It's too much time. It's too much scheduling. It's too much money. I don't want to mess with it. So
No.
I'll go in, I'll get it cut pretty short, and then I'll kind of grow it for 8 months,
Yep.
and it's pretty long, and I go and get it cut again.
That's my strategy too. But my
Really?
hair is pretty hard. It's pretty tough to maintain. After it gets beyond a certain point, it's like, each strand goes in a different direction. It's pretty bad. Like I look very unkempt. So usually that's my strategy too. I go in, I get it cut short, and then I don't go back in for a few months. Whereas I should be going at least I would say every month and a half to make sure to keep it like clean.
Yeah.
But I definitely grow to a point where whenever I walk by a barber shop, they're just like, this guy is coming in here for sure, and I don't, go in there.
They're like trying to wrestle you inside.
Yeah, it's like, for God's sake, sir, you need some help. No,
Somebody
another
give
2
this
months.
Yeti a hand. Grab those shears. Set him down. You're like, I'm just trying to buy ice cream from the ice cream truck.
Today we spotted Bigfoot on walking around the streets of Port Moody.
Today we spotted Today we spotted.
A Sasquatch.
It started to sound like the stutterer from South Park.
Jimmy Woo.
Today, today we spotted Bigfoot buying some ice cream from a truck.
Where are the recordings? Oh, well, one second, man. Now you'll have to cut this part out. But we're at like 53 minutes. Do you
Oh, really?
want to do like a outro, and then like we just go into like a new
Yeah.
episode after that?
Let's do
or-
that. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, all right, okay,
All
so
right, here we go.
3,
Action.
2, 1, action.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, oh my God, we totally lost track of time, and
Well,
we totally didn't
what's
talk
new?
about Mexico or anything.
Yeah, I know. In my head, the entire time, I was like, Cabo, Cabo, Cabo. I was like, I want to ask Karan about Cabo. Go ahead and tune into the next part
All right,
as soon as you
well,
can.
In that sense, it's Matt and I calling it, and we will see you on the next one.
Yes. Have a good life between now and when you start listening to the next one.
And watch out for those ice cream trucks.
Please watch out. Yeah. Okay, guys.
All right.
Take care.
Oh, hold on. We can't let them go without our
Oh.
theme.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do, 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 do.
Wait, let's try playing a different. Let's
Okay.
try a wild card. Like, I want to be surprised.
Okay. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
I haven't played this one.
Oh, boy. Hey. I love it. That was a good
Nice.
choice. That
Nice.
felt good.
Awesome.
Nice. All
Okay.
right, guys, stay tuned.